everybody, and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. Today I am making my basic bay rum shaving soap, and I'm doing it in the puck shape. I'm using my gigantic PVC mold that I'm going to show you how I made it. My husband helped me make it, and how I line it so that it doesn't stick in the PVC mold. And I've got my oils melted and cooling. I've got my aloe vera and lye cooling off, and I'm going to bring you back and show you how I set up my PVC mold. Okay, so I had to step out from behind my soap counter there so I can hopefully back up far enough where you can see this lovely thing. It holds 5 pounds of oils in my recipe, a little over 5 pounds, so with the lye and everything, 7 pounds total. I get 28 bars out of this mold, and so what it is a 3-inch PVC pipe, and cut to the length. You know, you'll have to do your math and figure out how long you want. You could even split this into 2 shorter ones if you don't want this big gigantic thing. And so let me set this down first. The bottom here is just simply a flange, and it makes a nice little base so that it doesn't tip over. You could even, I don't have small children anymore. I'm a grandma, and I keep this out of the way when the grandkids are over. But if you have little people running around or pets or whatever, and you're afraid of it tipping, you could even mount this on a board for a footer. It has screw holes. So this is just a basic flange, 3-inch PVC pipe, and then let me show you what you can get. Oh, sorry, it's heavy. I got this ginormous roll of poly tubing, and it fits the 3-inch. You need to make sure that you get the right diameter. If you get a 3-inch poly tubing, it'll only be 3 inches long, closed, and so when you open it up, it's like a 1.5-inch circumference. So you want to make sure you get the correct size tubing for your PVC pipe, and you could do this, you know, whatever size, if you wanted to do little embeds or whatever. So just really double check your numbers, make sure you have the correct poly lining. I got this ginormous, it's like 5,000 feet for, I don't know, Amazon carries it. There's a couple of other, you know, suppliers online, but it was cheap. It's like 25 cents to do a batch for the length that I use. And so how I measure it is I take a piece, and the way I do it is I just knot the bottom. Now, once this is filled with soap, you are going to lose that end piece. It's not going to be good for sale, but we use our own soap here anyway, and my husband doesn't mind, and I don't mind, so that end piece is going to be for us, and I'm fine with that. So this will be like right, sorry, the lighting's bad, you know, right at the bottom. So I figure out however much length I need with a little extra at the top, and I'll show you what that's for. That comes into play with my little top portion here. And this, you just have to play around with what your hardware store has. What I originally had planned to make the top out of, I couldn't find at Lowe's, which is what's near us. I don't have a Home Depot, I have a Lowe's in our town. So what this is this piece allows it to not sink down in the hole. No matter how much weight is on this, it's going to hold it up. And these 2 pieces just fit in there nicely and have enough of a hole that I can pour my batter down. I'll show you my big funnel. So what I do is I take my poly lining and bring it through those 2, and I bring it over the top of this top one here. Let me show you. So this has the screw threads, and this little top piece is just simply a little coupling for the poly tubing to go over. And you have to make sure that it's small enough that you're, you know, tubing. This is not stretchy, this poly tubing. It's very firm, it's not stretchy, which is good because when you're pouring the soap in, you don't want it to expand. And then I mash it down so there's just, you know, it's kind of munched up there, so that when I screw this on, that will trap it, and I screw this down as tight as I can get it, and then it's stuck in there. When I pour my soap batter in this tube, it's not going to slip through and like bonk on the bottom here. And even if it did, it's in the tube, but I just like to keep it suspended just so it has a nice column mold. And again, the top bar on here will tend to get a little narrower, so you're going to, you know, lose your end pieces on this. But for me, I don't mind. And again, you're just going to have to, you know, whatever size PVC pipe you're using, if you can do a couple of short ones. I've seen Pinterest, you can look this up on Pinterest too. I mean, I'm not the original person who thought this up. It's out there. So you don't have to make a big massive one. I just like to do one pour, and that way I don't have to think. So now I'm just feeding it down in here, and it'll straighten out. I'll show you how. There you go. So it's down in there. This is, I'm going to blow in here. You could use a blow dryer, anything to puff some air down to straighten your tube out. So I'll probably just take my blow dryer and just give a quick hit. It'll open the tubing up. Here is my big funnel. I think I got this at Harbor Freight or maybe Lowe's. I don't know. But it's Lie-Safe poly plastic. And that allows me, so if like when I do my mud cakes or my clay lines of soaps, I can double pour and it makes a really pretty swirl as it goes down, or even for single pouring, it just keeps everything safe. It's very secure, it's not going to fall off, so it's nice and makes the pouring easy. So this is what I do. Okay, we're back and I have my oils melted and cooled. I have here, this is organic aloe vera juice and sodium hydroxide and silk fibers. Yeah, that's what I put in here. And then in my oils, I'm going to go ahead and add my additives for my shaving soap. So here I have organic colloidal oats and bentonite clay. And that's what we're putting in because well, the oats are just really good for your skin. They're very gentle and soothing on the skin, you know, because shaving can be abrasive. And then the bentonite clay gives the bar a little slip. It makes the foam, it just gives it a really nice slip for shaving soap. So there's that. Oh, and I wanted to show you, this is what they look like wrapped, my little round soaps, and this is actually a coffee filter, a natural unbleached coffee filter, and I just do a round label on there, and it wraps my round soaps so cute. So that's how I do all my round soaps, are in these. It's a nice biodegradable, earth-friendly wrapper. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and buzz in my clay and oats into my oils and just get them incorporated before I put my lye in. Okay, I think that's blended in really nice. And today for the fragrance, actually, let me go ahead and get my gloves and my glasses, safety glasses on. They're on. So, all right, I've got my clay and oats in there. Let me show you what fragrance I'm going to be using. This is really manly. I got the Bay Rum from Nature's Garden, and it smells wonderful. And it this is one of the few Bay Rums that says it doesn't trace fast or accelerate trace. So we'll see, which actually doesn't matter today because I'm not doing any swirls. But it was a little light and fruity smelling. For a Bay Rum, I wanted a little more spice. So what I did was I did a blend. I mostly Bay Rum in my oils, and then I put just about 1.5 ounces of this Bourbon Street from Nurture Soap, and this smells really good. It's kind of has a tobacco whiskey sort of jazz club smell, and it just, to me, it kind of spiced up and matured up the shaving soap scent. I think it's wonderful, very manly, and yet, you know what? I use this stuff. Come on, ladies, we have legs and armpits and all that good stuff. So, although I think it's a manly scent, I think that it's perfectly unisex as well. So, that's where I stand on that. I just think it smells good, period, no matter what. So I'm going to go ahead here and pour in my cooled aloe vera and lye. And I'm using aloe vera because of all the skin benefits, and it's gentle and it's healing on the skin. I know a lot of men get razor burn or irritation, and so between the oats and the aloe vera and the cocoa butter and all of the things that we're putting in here, I just really want it to be very nourishing for your skin and gentle. You know, we got to treat those faces nice. I know my sweet husband, I'm looking at his face every day. I want to take care of it. So that's how I stand on that. And it makes a wonderful leg shaving bar, all of that. So I've got my aloe vera lye solution in there. I'm going to give it a quick buzz. And I think I'm actually going to just whisk in the scent. There we go. No reason to tempt the fates here. All right. So here's my soap batter. Here is my blend of bay rum and Bourbon Street. I'm just going to whisk that in, and then we will bring you over to my super big tall mold that I have lined. I have my funnel already in there. Actually, let me move it over here just a little, and I will, let's see if I can get the camera adjusted. There we go. You don't need to see my soap batter anymore because, you know, it's just soap batter. Here we go. Just making sure that the fragrance is incorporated throughout. I already have a nice light trace. This PVC, I don't necessarily insulate it. You don't need to. Because of the circumference and it's in the PVC, it actually is pretty well insulated. This will go through a gel phase in that mold. And I don't need to throw a blanket over it or anything. So there is that. I am happy with that trace. All right. And here it is. Sometimes when I'm doing a color swirl, I will stand on a stepping stool, but because I'm not swirling today and I'm just simply pouring this in, I'm going to go ahead and just pour it in. So carefully, I'm going to lift this up. And I try to shoot for the hole in the funnel just so it goes down. And if you pour nice and slow, the air that's in the tube can work its way out as you pour. I have not had trouble with air bubbles. And again, me and my right hand, I can't scrape with my left hand. I'm so not ambidextrous. So scrape out my big container here. Don't want to waste any of this wonderful soap batter. Alright, there it is. I'm going to take out my funnel and just do a double check, and it looks good. So going to let this sit. This is afternoon for me here, and I'm going to let this sit overnight, and tomorrow morning we'll come back and I'll show you how I unmold it and get the poly liner off of it and all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the flip side. All right, good morning, and it's the next day, and I'm going to pull my big tube up here on the table. There's the bottom, there's There's the top, and I'll show you how we unmold. First things first, I just like to get this coupling out of the way if I can unscrew it. It's on there really tight. There we go. Just less things to deal with. You can pull it out with this on. I just like to take it off. All right. And there it is. And we'll just set that aside till the next time we need it. And here we go. See how easy that pulls out? Literally just slides out of the mold. I just don't want to drop the PVC. That's why I'm hesitating here. There we go. And oh, it got a little bend in it because it hit the bottom. But no worries. So let me show you how I get the poly bag off of here. Go down. I just cut off the extra. And I just start making a cut and it tears. And then when it stops tearing, I just make another little cut. And there we go. Out of the mold. This little bendy thing is because it hit the bottom. My tube was a little too long, and so it had a little play, but that's all right. We'll still get some nice cuts of soap. So now I'm going to get my cutter. All right. Here's my bud cutter, and if you've ever bought one of these, it came with a little block. And this little block is the correct height, oops, it goes on this side, is the correct height to hold if you have a really long loaf, so that, you know, because this is a little flexible and bendy. It's not hard because it hasn't even cured up yet. So, you know, you could break this, and this little block is a rest for it. So I am actually going to flip this soap around and start cutting from this side. There. So I'm going to lift this up and put it on here and put my little extension piece down here at the end. You can't see it, it's out of the camera. And I'm going to make a short bar here. For just a little sample size. And, oh, the lighting. There we go. Just smooth, smells great. So, let me get to cutting here. I've got them all cut. I actually got 29 full-size bars, and then I have several end pieces that will be sample bars, and my one little wonky bend piece that my husband and I will use, and that's all good. But I got 29 usable bars, and I'm going to show you how I clean these up. I don't use a potato peeler because I'm not that smooth of hand. I find that hard, so I take a damp rag, clean damp rag, I know it's all stained, but it's clean, and wrung out as hard as I can wring it out so it's just barely damp, and I just literally grab the soap and twist, and it makes a nice smooth edge like that. And then I don't have any waste or potato peely issues, so that is how I clean up the edges. I just go around and it makes a nice smooth edge. And then I will do that with each of these bars and set them on my curing rack. And in 6 weeks we will have beautiful, beautiful bars of shaving pucks. I call them shaving pucks because I think that's a cute name.